Alrighty, so I've got Laith here in his Naked Dolly goodness, and I was going to do a Angel Street Zazean body review. Just got out of the shower, so mind the hair. And he is going to lose his hair so that we can start the video from top to bottom. So, let's start with his head. I will do review over each part and then review as a whole, like how he is as a doll in a whole. But right now, let's start with just the head. His head has the elf ears. The Zazean's the elf boy. His eyes are normal and he's kind of pouting. He's got the, oops, let's get out of the way. He's got the normal eyes. Nothing too crazy except for his ears. If you want an elf boy, I believe this would be great for you, unless you want a smiling elf boy, and then in that case I'm not sure what to do. His head is a 3-pronged system with a magnet, and the first prong is the one that is hooked, and so you hook it and then you just place it down and the magnet does the rest. But the other 2 prongs make sure that it doesn't slide. So it actually stays on really well. The magnet is great. He has a regular S-hook system inside his head. And there's the putty for his eyes, go right there. And then here's the S-hook that you use, and his string that goes all the way down through his legs. Comes all the way up here and hooks with the S-hook right there in his head. Let's get it close up. There's the back of his head, there's the 3 prongs, there's where the other prong goes. So let's put his head back on, which is pretty easy. You just got to get a good look, good feel for it, and it stays on pretty well. I mean, you can tell it stays on. The only issue I have with the head is that for some reason his ears do not like wigs. His elf ears will try to knock his wig off, so that is why I used hot glue and made him a wig stopper, or you can buy your own wig stopper. Make your own, do whatever, there's videos out there. Have at it, but yeah, unless the only wig I have to try on him is the wig that he came with, and so it's kind of difficult to say whether or not it's just the wig type or if it's just the ears. But right now I have a wig stopper and that's what's keeping his hair on, so just watch out for that. Next, going down, is the torso. I will do the 3 parts and the arms. Let's talk about that next. The torso, he doesn't have a neck turning. His neck is just where his head turns. He has 3 parts. The first part is the torso where the arms are joined. Whoops, he smacked me. So, bending over, he has a bit of a jut out spot where you can kind of see where it goes like that, and then he can bend at his belly. Not very much, and he has a little bit of a hole if you bend him too far, but he can slouch forward, and when he has clothes you can't see this, so it's really good. As far as bending backwards, he's really good at doing limbo, so you can get some sexy poses. There is a little bit of a gap right here. Again, you got to watch out for if you're doing naked shots. I haven't, so it's been alright with me because I've had a shirt on, and I haven't really had him doing limbo anyways, so. But it does have a little bit of a gap and a jut out, but it still looks really, really good for as far as like running your finger across it and seeing how smooth it is. I mean, you feel that little part, but it's not a big deal in my concern. So he can move, and after I sueded, this top part does really, really well. And I'm going to have to suede down here a little bit more, but it does stay. Whenever I first got him, he would used to like pop out right there, and then there'd be that gap, and he would always do that every time I pick him up. But after I sueded him, which is hot glue sueding, putting hot glue in the joints and everything, he actually stays really well now. So I like that, and that's good as far as the torsos go. Alrighty, arms. His arms are single jointed. His whole body is single jointed. But as you can see, his shoulders have really good movement, and they stay. And he is sueded, but I don't know if, yeah, it does help a little. because I sueded every part of his body, but sometimes, like his elbows, the sueding came out. But for being single jointed, he does really, really, really well. He can touch his face for being single jointed and after I sueded him. And even though his elbows are not sueded, if you kind of play with it, you gotta get him to like want to, but you can move his elbow around and like turn it to where it's not the peanut moving, it's just a little circle joint, and you can turn it in its socket where it looks weird. Don't be afraid, I've been playing with it for a while and it still works, but you'll have like a hole there and then he's like out and it looks really weird, but he has clothes on, it looks fine. So you can get him to touch his face. I've gotten pictures where he's doing different things and he's single jointed, so you don't have to be double jointed to be able to touch your face, but to be able to hold it and just do it straight off, yeah, double jointing will help, but if you play with it and you get used to your doll, single jointing, if it works for you, then it works for you. That is fine. His wrists have normal movement. They're just held on with an S-hook. There's no extra little piece. So, yeah. There's the hands. The elbows hold pretty well. You can move. You got to play with it again to try and get him to stay because he's got like these two little pointy parts. So it either wants to be full out or full in. But if you want to get it to stay, you can play around with it. And look, there's like, that looks like his arm is broken, but yeah, you just got to look out. I mean, it's pretty okay for me, and he's always wearing his long sleeve shirt. I've only done a couple pictures where he doesn't have a shirt on. So it just depends on what your preference is and how you want to do it. Alright, I will stop here because my video is running out and I will get back to you on the legs.